Chris!
Heath.
Welcome!
Thanks.
Isn't it good to be here? It's just you and me, buddy.
Yeah, no one else in this room.
Nope.
It's been a crazy year, hasn't it?
Oh, but it's only January.
It feels like it should be far later than that.
Well, like I was saying yesterday, I raced into adulthood. Is that what you're referencing?
No, I'm talking about the mile-a-minute current events that are happening this year. They're hitting on a weekly basis, it seems.
Oh, well, around this time last year, it was World War III.
Right,
And,
yeah.
And
I think there were some bad natural fires going on. Colby.
Kobe. Colby's a flavor of cheese.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. But yeah.
We ought to introduce ourselves. We've never done that. Well, I know, but that's the whole reason we do the name thing in the beginning.
Yeah. Dual purpose.
Yeah, so I should just go ahead.
Hello.
Bailey.
Hi.
You are our second guest ever.
Who is the first?
Podcast God.
He only goes by that title.
Oh, okay.
Seth lent his talents.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Ages ago, it feels like.
Yeah.
But enough about you, which is ambiguous now. Nobody, the audio listener doesn't know who I was referring to. Chris.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. This might be controversial to bring up. We've hemmed and hawed over it. I really like our new podcast logo.
Do ya?
I do. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Maybe we'll poll the audience to see how they're enjoying it.
I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
But yeah, that was just new year, new logo was my line of thinking.
The logo is for what show exactly?
Mobius Tubes.
Yay! Recorded on January 30th, 2021.
This is episode 59. I think we failed to mention that last episode.
They'll have context clues.
Yeah. And this is a video game podcast, of course. And we're about to talk about a few video games. What have you been playing, Heath?
I played one game, and it was sort of spur of the moment. We just happened upon it because we played Portal 1 almost to the twist, which is unthinkable in retrospect. Bailey, Portal 1 scratches that itch for you on a puzzle level, right?
I like Portal because it's up to you to figure out how to get to the end and like how to put the cube on the button to open it up and like where exactly to shoot the portals. I like it a lot. It's a puzzle game.
And so I thought, what better way to follow up a puzzle game than with another puzzle game, but replace robots with a very alive woman. She's enough personality for a whole cast, it would seem. We're talking about Her Story.
I'm a big fan of Her Story.
You played it, Chris.
All three of us have, apparently.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I played it, and then Heath fell asleep.
Oh.
Part of the reason Bailey is here is because
You were asleep at the wheel?
in the passenger seat, you might say. So here's the thing. Chris, you work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So you rarely have to stay up for business reasons and burn the midnight oil.
Never happens.
Both Bailey and my career choices have led us to have overnight
responsibilities.
Yeah. As a nurse, Bailey has to work the night shift.
Yeah.
And I, in the film industry, have to do the overnight driving sequence for the movie because we can't shoot while the sun's up. So there was one such evening where Bailey and I were trying to stay awake.
Well, like, I was trying to stay awake because I had a night shift the next night. But I think you were on a day schedule.
They were not in sync.
Yeah, so it's like 2 a.m. We're playing Her Story. And Heath is like, I'm just going to get more comfortable and like falls asleep on the couch. But I had to stay awake, so I just kept playing it. And I pretty much uncovered the truth.
You got at least 50% of the achievements on Steam.
Okay.
Cool.
And you have enough to talk about. And we're not going to spoil it outright. We're going to do a big picture, what do you always call it?
High
level discussion
overview
of Her Story. So Her Story, I described it as a puzzle game initially. It's a live action, footage-based crime drama in which you are investigating the testimony of this woman your only means of searching through the footage, because it's on an old-timey police department TI-83 era that's actually
Mainframe
a
computer.
I named a new calculator, but it's an old mainframe computer.
Yeah.
So you have to type in words that have been tagged by what she has said. So if she says jambalaya
In one video segment.
that will come up as a data entry if you were to search for it.
Right.
The game starts with the search entry either kill or
Murder, maybe.
Yeah, it starts with murder.
And it brings up 4 entries. Conveniently, in different parts of the chronology of her testimony. We were trying to plot it out. When did this crime happen? Back in 93?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Took place a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could tell that time has passed because her outfit changes.
Mm-hmm. And I think each video, does it have a date timestamp or am I
Yes.
misremembering? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the story only unfolds in the direction in which you tend to go.
Yeah.
So one thing that interested me most was as you reveal new clips of testimony footage, it will ping in the database checker that you've seen 10 of 100 clips, but there's like 200 clips, I think. And the clips could be a minute long to 6 seconds long.
Yeah.
And those 6-second nuggets are the cream of the crop because fewer words are said means that they are much more difficult to achieve. So that's what interested me most. And also the chronology of the events, like I was saying. We very early on discovered the second clip in the chronology. And I'm like, ooh, what is the first one?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're trying different things. We're saying, like, what would she have said at the very beginning of this interrogation to have it appear as the first clip? And I thought, like, oh, my name is... And this is where we'll start to get into spoilers.
Oh, are we?
Sorry.
There's more to say that's spoiler free, I think.
Then by all means, take the reins.
Sure, you keep mentioning how the sequence of interviews you're watching, they are told to you kind of out of chronological order. And that's because this investigation you're doing, it's very self-directed, as you were alluding to. When you watch a clip, you're going to hear a couple snippets of character names or locations, or maybe like a potential murder weapon. And those keywords that you plug into the search engine to find more clips, the order in which you do it, totally up to you. Whatever stands out most to you kind of informs the order and sequence you watch the rest of the interviews.
And it was super interesting to watch my thought process differ from Bailey's thought process.
Oh, I bet.
It reminded me of when I tried to get her to play Wilmot's Warehouse. Whereas I would organize items categorically. I would put the stop signs next to the traffic cones. Bailey, as soon as I pitched it to her, like, maybe you could organize them by color, it almost clicked with her, and she'd be like, oh, I'd like seeing things organized by color.
Yeah, I did it by color, definitely.
Yeah. So same goes with her story. Bailey's dropping keywords like...
Oh, I did...
You did princess at one point.
Well, yeah, that was like the second word I looked up because...
of the fairy tale narrative.
Yeah, the fairy tale narrative that we found. It was very interesting. I did like 80% of the driving on that game. I think like you typed in like a couple, but no, I did a lot of the searching and the uncovering, and then you fell asleep, and then I did the rest.
So I tried not to tell you what this game was about in anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
At what point, how far into playing did you realize what kind of game it was?
What do you mean by that?
Just what were your first impressions when we first looked at it? Because I barely remembered our conversation, Chris.
Okay.
And so when we started playing it, I thought it was basically like the game Seen It. And it was only until I saw the database checker that I realized that this was a full completionist style crime drama puzzle game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that there was maybe going to be more to it, but after I saw the database checker, I was kind of like, okay, so this is the main mechanism of the game, is searching the words, coming up with the storyline. I thought maybe like when you clicked into like the trash can and you saw the checker game, the mirror game, like that would be something that you could unlock.
Add to the mystery.
Yeah. But no, what you see is what you get, basically.
And what you hear. Can someone explain to me the audio cues that would happen at the end of certain clips?
Are you talking about audio cues that are within the video recording itself or like outside of the computer?
No, like diegetic, outside of the footage. It would play like a siren after a certain clip.
Yes.
And then also like an epiphany musical medley after. Did anybody
Oh, you're talking about like the
after certain clips where the lady
Yeah. So like the background music would
should
change.
be like, my real name is
Yeah.
and then the music would change. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I paid attention to that because you pointed it out.
That's why we're good.
Yeah.
I point things out and then you play the rest of the 90 minutes. So, are we talking about spoilers yet, or did anyone else want to?
I've got one last non-spoiler thing to say, and that's just that I'm excited to see the conclusions Bailey came to. The self-guided nature of this game, you can kind of, whenever you think you've solved the mystery, that could be your ending and you stop playing, right?
Yes.
Technically, you haven't seen every single clip of all 200 video snippets, but you can think you're done, wash your hands of it, and walk away, which is funny how much could be left unsaid. I tried introducing this game to someone.
How many girls?
One girl.
Okay.
One girl. We played it together.
They love them.
She wasn't digging it. We made a little progress. She thought she found the end. She clearly had not found the end, but I couldn't tell her that. And then we were done. And it was a very unimpressive experience. But if you dig deeper, I find the revelations of this game pretty surprising. I really like the twist. And with that out of the way, I want to hear what Bailey thought.
I really like this game. I tried to wait until I was pretty sure of the storyline, until the chat bot came up and it said, "Are you done? Are you finished?" Because like I didn't know what was going to happen after I clicked that. And so yeah, once I had kind of come to the conclusion of like, okay, this is what I believe happened. I've seen about 75% of the videos, and I hit yes, and then the twist popped up. I liked that feature because you're uncovering the story as you go, and then there's one last twist that you uncover, and it's like a little hidden gem.
I like that hidden gem. Were you conscious for this part, Heath?
What
No,
chat box?
no, he was totally asleep, and I almost woke him up because I was like, "This is a great little twist," but I couldn't tell him because he didn't know the whole story.
All right, well,
Should we dive into it?
okay, so skip ahead to whatever time if you don't want to know what the big twist is.
Go for it, Bailey.
Okay.
Well, now I'm thinking, is it the woman is the person on the computer? Is that the twist?
No.
Oh, that's what
It's
I
better
thought.
than that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's better.
Oh, Simon is on the computer.
No.
Eve is on the computer?
Do you want to hear? Well, okay, and this is another aspect of the game that I thought was interesting. I came to a conclusion myself, and I actually went to the internet to look up. I was like, is this correct? But you hear the story, and then it's up to you whether you believe everything that she says. And it's kind of up to you to interpret it in your own way.
That much I got. The unreliable narrator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, the woman who's filmed, it's two women, right? Identical twins.
No. Okay.
So I thought she was the same person with multiple personalities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the twin like a theory? Or am I just misremembering?
No, because that's one of the things is you could either interpret it as there's actually two people, or it's the same person and she like just doesn't
she has
realize it.
Split personality disorder.
Yeah.
Got it. And one of them is a chronic liar and the other isn't? Or is that
Habitual.
Habitual. Or am I also misremembering that? It's been 5 years since I've played this game.
Oh, wow. No, you know what it is? Eve, who's the...
Eve's the bad girl.
Who's
Hannah's the good girl.
Hannah, that's her name. So there's instances where Eve is pretending to be Hannah.
Yes.
And like it's really mind twisting, and you kind of like...
You have to... Do you go back and notice tells that you hadn't realized were there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, tattoos?
Okay, so this is where my mind is kind of blown a little bit, because in some video sequences, there is the tattoo, and that belongs to Eve. And then in
'Cause
others,
tattoos are bad.
well, no, but like in others, there's not, and so it makes me think like, well, okay, is it actually two separate people then? Because like you can't just have a tattoo one day and not have it the next day. So it makes me think that it's actually two separate people. Even Hannah are separate people. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough.
And that's part of the appeal of seeing this narrative that is the self-guided part of it, how you see it in a different order than anyone else, and you come to your own conclusions. And maybe at the end of the day, it isn't super important actually 100% what exactly happened, but kind of the story you tell yourself is the main appeal.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the part Heath doesn't know about. The person who's watching these clips on this old police mainframe computer is Eve/Hannah's child.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is, the pregnancy is like the main source of conflict in this story, right?
So from what I gathered, Hannah tried to get pregnant with Simon first and then had a miscarriage. And then Eve and Simon got together and had like a one-night stand or something. And then Eve became pregnant. But Hannah didn't know it was Simon who got her pregnant.
So the her in the title for her story is the child's origins.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So it's Eve's daughter, Sarah, is watching.
That's the her. Ooh, nice.
So you're chatting with the detective, and the detective's like, do you understand why your mother did what she did?
Oh.
And I was like, no. And she's like, that's okay. You don't need to. Or like something like this. It was very interesting.
Yeah. The purpose behind the game is this child coming to terms, seeing why her mother committed this murder.
Yeah.
Years after the
Murdered
fact.
her father.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa.
And that's the her story.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's a short game. It's great to just bang out in like one sitting.
Yeah.
There's not really any other games like it. It's a great one.
Yeah. Point to that fact. We played an unsolved case file right before it.
Yeah, we did.
So we were the flavor of the night was figuring out who murdered this woman, and now in this game it's the woman who did the murdering. And
Yeah.
Good that we did that in that one setting. What was the most difficult footage to find?
Probably depends person to person. I
Yeah.
certainly don't remember for my playthrough.
Because I remember when we found that one little 4-word "My name is Eve" clip that greased my gears.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just
because so few keywords would have pulled that up since it was just "My name is Eve," so
Yeah.
you would need one of those.
yeah. And if you do a general word like "the," it only retrieves the earliest 5 entries.
Yeah.
I would think.
You
So,
can't cheat that way.
can't cheat that way.
It was very interesting because we searched Hannah first, and then we came up with the clip of her going like, Hannah, why are you talking about Eve? And then like the next clip that you play is like her after the lie detector test, and she's like, oh, the only thing I got wrong was my name. Oh, I guess your lie detector test works then. And you're like, what? Like,
Oh.
and then you're kind of like, okay, so who is this other person? Or why is she lying about her identity? And then you kind of uncover the whole Eve thing. It's very interesting.
So the last footage is I want to speak to my lawyer.
The last clip was actually very interesting because it's I want to speak to my lawyer. And then she kind of redacts everything that she says. And she's like, well, this is just stories that we're telling each other. And she kind of like
Leaves it ambiguous.
so you don't know if she's actually like telling the truth, because she's like, well, that's just what they are. They're stories that we've been telling each other. So it's kind of like, oh, so did this actually happen? Or is she, I don't know.
Makes you think.
Yeah.
Leaves it up to your interpretation.
Well, from what I hear, I think I would recommend her story, and I would like to see future games that are like this.
Yes.
Because what else is like this?
So The developer of Her Story has a follow-up. I think the game is called Telling Lies.
Ooh.
And it makes this wacky concept even more complex because I believe it is the concept of telling lies. I haven't played it. It's on my to-do list. I think it's people having video chats over the internet, like Skype or what have you. And the way it's told to you is you only ever get to see one side of each conversation. And you have to infer what the other person is saying. And it's told to you out of chronological order, and you're only ever getting half of a conversation, and that's kind of telling lies. I don't know what the hook is, though.
I would like to play this one.
I hear it's just as good.
I hope it's early 2000s
It might be.
Skyping fun.
Can it be AIM? Is it on? I really want it to be on AIM.
Cool.
That's Her Story.
That's Her Story. One we all three of us would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What else we got?
What else we got?
Yeah.
I've played 2 games since we last spoke. I can continue on with Total War Warhammer II. This is the big strategy game I've been playing as the Lizard Men still. My 50-hour campaign is coming to a close finally. It's the reason I'm late. I'll explain myself in a second. One criticism I have of these games is because of their scale.
Because you're a lizard.
Oh? Because you're weighing yourself? What do you mean?
Scales.
Oh.
This is what I provide.
Yeah, this is your own brand, very on brand. There's such a giant landmass to like conquer and walk around.
The New World.
The New World. By the end of the campaign, which I'm rapidly approaching, the micromanagement fiddliness starts to become a little too much because I've conquered so many cities at this point and I have to click around the map checking, okay, which one of these do I have buildings I need to upgrade? At the beginning of the game, you have 1 or 2 armies. Now I have 7 I have to manage. Turns start to kind of grind to a halt. They take so long to complete. And I don't know how you fix that because if you condense it down, you lose the epic scale of the game, which you want.
That's why you bought it.
That's why you buy it. Otherwise, you're just playing this little rinky-dinky thing. But yet, it becomes a lot to manage by the end, which means I'm just trying to kind of push through and finish it soon. So that's a little annoying. What made me late was I just had the climax of my campaign.
You got to the vortex.
Not quite. I had a huge battle to fight. There are these rat men I'm fighting. They're called the Skaven. They are
they led by Remy?
They might as well be. They're kind of a faction of these engineers and scientists who do nefarious experiments to get the military edge. They brought 3 of their big armies against one of my settlements where I had 2 armies defending it. And you get to play it out in real time, which I did. You can't pause and save during a battle, which is why I'm so late for this recording. I had to see it through. It took like an hour. But it had quite the arc to it. You know, at the start, we had our little posturing match.
Listen up, lizards. We're going to beat these rats.
Little skirmishes break out. I sent a cavalry way out ahead of the rest of my force to like harass a catapult of theirs and then had to run away because the rest of their rats were closing in. Mm-hmm. And then the lines met. The battle had started. I had some guys hiding in 2 forests on either side of the battlefield. The enemy scouts had found some of my hidden units, which was a big bummer because they lost the element of surprise, but not the other one. So I did get one big, nice cavalry charge coming out of the right forest, but not the left. So that was big advantageous for me. There were so many guys on the field that I lost track of what was going on the other side of the battlefield and neglected to see they had this entire other force closing in. At the beginning of any battle, you have these nice, clean, crisp lines that are moving up the field, and then all chaos ensues and everything becomes a mess. There were basically like 2 phases of this one battle. The initial clash, then I realized they have a whole other second force closing in, and I had to kind of like wrestle everyone who was in a giant mosh pit back into their lines to brace for this second assault. It was quite the narrative arc for one battle. I ended up winning, so I got to justify being late for this podcast recording.
Yeah, because if you lost,
I just feel awful.
I would have locked the door. Yeah.
Right. Losers can't record. So that was fun. Now with this going in my favor, it should just be some last minute cleanup to finish up this Vortex business.
A few more ancient tablets.
Yeah, then I'll be all done. There is a little bit of a story the game tells that you kind of like learn why this Vortex thing is happening. And there is actually a twist that happens, which I was not expecting a narrative twist in a strategy game. It's not like it hasn't recontextualized my whole thought process of the game or anything like that, but I did enjoy the little twist it threw in there. It was a fun time. That's what's going on in Total War. Once I wrap this up, I think I'm going to put it back on the shelf for a while, not play it, but it is a game I'm going to return to someday. There's just all the factions are so different from each other. I want to see what the Skaven play like. They're totally
what are Skaven?
different. They're the Rat Men.
Okay.
They're so weird. They don't create cities like everyone else. They live in ruins, which means they could have basically entire bastions of civilization just hiding in plain sight, and no one would be the wiser because they just live in ruined places. So they're a weird faction. There's the undead I want to play as. It's going to be an evergreen game for me, I think. And that's that. And then the one other game I've been playing, this is a weird one, just because we haven't talked about it on the show for such a big franchise. I've been playing Halo.
Oh, yeah.
Halo, the Master Chief Collection, which is, that compilation game that has almost all the Halo games in it. It has Combat Evolved, 2, 3, 4, ODST, and Reach. So like 6 Halo games. There's a lot of content there.
That's almost all the Halo games.
Yeah. It came out a long time ago on the Xbox One, 2014. It's kind of the poster child of a game launching broken. I don't know if you remember any of this, but the matchmaking was busted on this game.
For multiplayer.
For multiplayer. You'd sit in lobbies endlessly, just couldn't find players for you. Even co-op campaign was kind of hit or miss. And it was broken for years. That's not an exaggeration. It took them more than 2 years to iron it out.
But this is like their Mickey Mouse. This is their main guy.
Which makes it even more surprising, isn't it?
Wow.
Imagine botching Halo. That's Microsoft's moneymaker. Yeah, so that's ancient history. Despite all the launch woes, I did really enjoy the game back then. I played it extensively on the Xbox. I'm playing it on the PC now because that's where it's available now. That was kind of a big deal when this game launched on PC about a year ago, because there hadn't been a Halo game on PC since the mid-2000s. So it had been a long time since it had been on any other platforms.
Wait, so they did put it on the PC?
They
stopped?
The original Halo and Halo 2 did come to PC back in the day.
Okay.
And then they stopped that practice. 3 never came, 4 never came, Reach and ODST never came, all the way until fast forward to 2019. Suddenly they're all available in this collection.
Okay.
So that's what I'm playing, and I booted it up recently, and I was met with 2 surprises right off the bat. One of them was very pleasant. So I'm playing it on Steam, Valve's service. Nothing to do with Microsoft, but it asked me as soon as I booted it up, why don't you log into your Microsoft account? You'll sign into Xbox Live. And I said, okay.
So you can get your laser sword?
I've never done that in a Steam game before, but sure, I'll do it. And then as soon as I booted it up, all of my progress from years ago was right there in front of me on the PC. All of my matchmaking statistics, all of my campaign levels I've completed, and
all of your Kilimanjaros.
Yeah, it was all there. It was like I had never left. And I'm embarrassed to admit how much I enjoyed this part. All of my 450 Xbox achievements immediately unlocked on Steam.
Oh, because they did a copy paste?
Yeah, your progress carries over completely.
And you love Steam achievements.
I got quite the dopamine hit off of that. And it's worth noting, anything I do on the Steam version will carry right back to the Xbox version.
Whoa.
They're totally cross-compatible.
They're scratching everyone's Master Chief back.
So hats off to Microsoft. I didn't expect it to be so seamless. They're really looking out for you with that. So that was a great surprise. The other surprise was a little more mixed. I booted it up. All right. This is a first-person shooter, of course. Everyone knows that. And now I have like mouse and keyboard to play it with. I can't wait to see how precise that feels, right? Because everyone knows a mouse, you're a little better at aiming and shooting than like analog sticks.
Yeah, but it's not as comfortable.
That you could argue that, yeah. But I wanted to see what that felt like until all my friends laughed at me. They said, no one plays this game with the mouse and keyboard. It puts you at a distinct disadvantage. And sure enough, I looked it up in the competitive scene for this game on PC. Everyone uses a controller because the bullet magnetism and the auto aim is that cranked up that controller gives you an advantage.
So on a controller, it just slaps your cursor on the bad guy?
Pretty much in comparison to a mouse and keyboard. The only time you're at an advantage with mouse and keyboard is at really far range sniping affairs.
Or maybe like driving?
Perhaps. So that was kind of a shock. So yeah, I've been playing this PC shooter with a controller. I mean, I'm fine with it. That's how I've played all the Halo games up until this point, but a little wacky. That said, how have I been playing the game? I have been playing it multiplayer with friends from college.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure. Since the inception of this podcast, I've brought a multiplayer game to talk about.
Well, yeah, because you're Chris.
Because I'm Chris, yeah.
You're a lone wolf. You're a Sigma male. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Sorry, can I go on a non sequitur?
Sure.
Have you seen this Sigma male stuff?
Never heard of it.
Okay, so it's basically horoscopes or like astrology for men. Bailey, have you seen this?
No.
On Twitter, girls would be like, guys make fun of us for our astrology, but look at this bullshit. And it's all about like Sigma male hierarchy.
Is this different than like alpha, beta?
No, it's specifically that.
Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it, right? So like the 5 male archetypes, the rarest male type, and it's all of these highly masculine but equally fantasy horoscope, like Mercury in retrograde. I'm a gamma male with a T level of whatever the heck. And
please tell me what a gamma male is.
Oh, that's the bottom. That's the absolute bottom.
No, there's something below that.
Oh, like an omega? What?
Yeah. They have descriptions.
Okay, the alpha male is a self-assured leader, very successful with women. The Sigma male is the lone wolf. That's you, Chris.
Okay.
But you are equally successful with women.
Oh, perfect.
The beta male are the worker bees in society. Isn't it weird how it puts like a doctor icon there?
Yeah.
Women will tolerate them if they have ample resources. Otherwise, they're discarded. Gammas are bitter and clueless. They can't grasp red pill concepts and get checked out of the mating game. And then Omegas, you'll notice that's like a guy on his laptop. They're most associated with a school shooting and totally rejected by women. So you, Chris, you don't play many multiplayer games because you're this lone wolf type is where my brain went to.
Thank goodness we got that non sequitur in there.
Such value.
So I have been playing this game in co-op, and it really is an excuse for me to talk to college friends. We're not paying super close attention to the game. It is essentially our justification for getting together on a Thursday evening and hanging out in Discord as we do this.
It's book club.
It's book club, yeah. So I've been enjoying it for the social aspect mostly, although I wasn't expecting to be blown away by a game I played before. It came out in 2010. It's a little old. But the core fundamentals of the Halo gameplay, they still hold up, and I'm happy to report. Mainly, what gives each combat encounter its oomph is the enemy diversity. Halo's always been good at that.
You got your Master Chiefs, you got your Arbiters.
Those are player characters, not really enemies you're facing.
Yeah, Heath, come on.
How like in a COD
You
or
try naming all the Halo enemy types.
in a COD campaign or a Battlefield campaign, you've got basically soldiers who more or less behave the same. They'll duck and cover, shoot at you, run around. But the Halo guys, it feels more akin to different chess pieces on a chessboard because you've got to employ different tactics to take them out. The elites, They're always a threat. They're pretty good offensively and defensively. You got to be wary of them. Grunts are a breeze. They're the cannon fodder that you fight. You can take them out in a single shot, but they'll behave recklessly because they're expendable. They'll run at you with live grenades. They could be glass cannons if the enemies have equipped them with like a fuel rod cannon. So even though you can take them out in one shot, they can be a threat. Jackals are agile. They can dodge around. They have a shield which keeps them protected and can soak up a lot of damage unless you shoot them in just the right spot where they're holding the shield, in which case they'll open themselves up for a quick kill. And you've got things like hunters, which are the tanks. They're artillery pieces. They're a big threat from afar. They're a big threat up close in close quarters when they switch to their melee attacks. Unless you get around behind them, because they're vulnerable in the back, which is fun. So just the fact that you have to be on your toes, thinking about what weapons you're using, what order you take on the enemies, what behaviors they're going to employ. For such a mainstream appeal shooter, I have to say,
they outdid themselves.
It's a little more cerebral than you'd think it is. So yeah, bravo to Halo for still being a really well-designed first-person shooter. The guns that you play with are all multi-purpose and have quite different roles to them. I dig it, but I don't have too many other insights for this really old Halo Reach campaign.
What's Bungie doing now?
What do you mean?
Bungie, the makers of Halo.
They make Destiny now.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a shame. But that's all I've been playing. So shall we take a break? And when we come back, we have some news, right? Big news.
Yeah.
All right. See you then.
And we're back.
Hey, Heath.
Hey, Chris.
There's a lot going on in the world.
And only 20 minutes to talk about it. So we'll just get it out of the way. GameStop stock is worth as much as Tesla for a memey reason.
Admittedly, this is tangentially a video game story. It really doesn't have that much to do with games.
Reggie Fils-Aimé, his power rages on.
How much do you know about Wall Street Bets, the subreddit, Heath?
I watched one funny video that listed off their achievements.
What are their achievements?
No, just stories about people doing, what is it called? Like a box square investment, which was super risky, but they ended up doing very well. And yeah, these like the best moments of r/Wall Street Bets.
I see. I definitely don't hop into that community very often.
And you can't anymore because now it's private, right?
It has been on and off private for a while. It's a weird place to hang out. It's a super self-deprecating group of people. They lovingly refer to each other as degenerates and autists and retards.
Okay.
It's basically a bunch of millennials and Gen Zers who...
That young?
Yeah, that young.
Okay.
Who make wildly risky bets on the stock market. They celebrate with each other when they pay off, and they commiserate with each other when they lose tens of thousands of dollars.
What a community.
They basically turn their losses into Reddit karma. That's what this community is for.
So even when you lose, you kind of win.
If those karma points are what you're after, then yes, you win.
It is.
So this group of fun-loving individuals...
I don't know any of those in real life, do I?
I
might know one or two.
I think Nate frequents it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mobius too,
But,
super
like,
fan.
He frequents it like you would frequent Disney World, but he's not like an annual pass holder. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to ask him if he is secretly the head moderator.
If he's the Lord Azamundi, what's it, of the Wall
Lord
Street Bets?
Mazdamundi, yeah. So they realized that GameStop stock has been doing poorly. Its days are kind of numbered as video games as an industry increasingly moves more and more digital. Retail stores, fewer and fewer people every year are buying games at a store physically. So a bunch of hedge funds and big big money investors were shorting GameStop stock. It seemed like a reasonable thing to do. Eventually, GameStop would go out of business. They'd make a nice profit. Partially as a joke, partially as a statement of, I guess, screw you to the big investors. The entire Wall Street entire Reddit community here has rallied around GameStop stock, pumping it thousands of % higher than it realistically should be. And the hedge funds are bleeding money left and right. That's how a short works. You have to eventually cover your loss.
If they were to pull out now, they would have lost thousands.
Right. We're talking about hedge funds being bankrupted here. At this point, people listening have heard this already.
Yeah, by the time this episode comes out, the new stock will be like BlackBerry.
Right, because they've rallied behind AMC. I heard like one of the airlines they were gonna help one of them.
Oh, the worst one, maybe?
The worst one.
Probably Spirit. Take that, Spirit.
It's a very tumultuous situation. I love what these guys are doing. And it's
because you're an eat the rich?
I mean, if the hedge funds have been manipulating stocks all this time, maybe it's time the regular retail investor had a shot at it.
Oh.
And it's cool to see collective action can have bigger impact. It's also, I like the mind games behind it because this is a group of people acting as a single entity to pump up the stock. And if you jump on the current subreddit, it's all these memes they've made about hold the line, brothers. Because if you take your own self-interest into account and you cash out when it's high, that's what the hedge funds want you to do. Because if a bunch of people start cashing out to solve their own selfish interests, it's going to lower the stock. This only works for as long as the subreddit remains united, which I like. It's like kind of like the prisoner's dilemma, because the people could start helping themselves, but this whole initiative only works if they choose to be selfless and hold the line.
You compared it to the prisoner's dilemma because you're an intellectual. My brain immediately went to the PewDiePie versus T-Series subscriber count race of early 2019.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because T-Series, currently the most subscribed YouTube channel, the YouTube community didn't want this big Indian music corporation to be the most subscribed channel over PewDiePie.
I see.
So everyone rallied behind PewDiePie's, and everyone was like going into schools and telling people to subscribe in order to beat T-Series to 100 million subscribers.
Gotcha. So just like the prisoner's dilemma.
Yeah, that too.
Do we think this will have far-reaching implications in the land of video games, or not really?
No, this'll people will cash out, surely. The memes will only last so long.
Yeah, it's not going to last more than the next couple of weeks, right?
Right.
You have to assume. Also, I don't think this saves GameStop. Sure, their stocks are super high, but it doesn't influence their day-to-day profitability at all.
No,
I don't think.
This is a flash in the pan.
Well said. So I think GameStop's days are still kind of numbered unless they really pivot hard, and this will just be a really weird footnote in GameStop's history. If it does have far-reaching implications, it's going to be in the world of investing, not the world of video games.
Right.
And that's that story.
That being said, we should totally prank the games companies that we like.
Yeah.
For the next stock pump. Everyone should put their money into Sid Meier's. I don't know. What's a stock that we like game-wise? Maybe ZeniMax?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. That was that.
Do we not have any other news? Did you want to do 20 questions or not this episode, or what do you want to do, Heath?
We can make, we're already like 50 minutes. We can make this like a short episode.
Okay, you're eager to end it.
I'm not eager to end it.
Why don't we do the 20 questions thing and call it a day?
All right.
Do you have a game you've thought of?
Yes.
All right, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll do this little closing
challenge.
Close it. Yeah, a challenge.
And we're back.
And we're back.
What's 20 questions, you might ask? Chris has in the guessing chair for I have selected a game, and he has 20 questions in order to identify what that game is.
Yes or no questions only.
Only.
And it's worth mentioning this is shamelessly ripped off of the Game Scoop podcast. They do it every week. We do it when we need to fill for time.
That's right.
So Heath is thinking up what game he's going to select. It could be any game from all of history. And I have 20 yes or no questions to correctly identify it. Also, if I guess a game's title and I'm wrong, I've lost. I only get one shot to name the game. So, are you ready, Heath? I'm ready.
I contribute?
Yeah.
Even though I don't know any games.
Bae, you can contribute.
You can think of like questions I might not have thought of or something like that.
Okay.
All right. So I've never done this before, but
Hold on.
Okay.
Now that Bailey's here, I'm changing the game.
Oh.
I'm changing the game and figuratively and literally.
It's Tsum Tsum, isn't it?
All right, I got a new game.
All right. It's locked in.
Yeah, we got this.
Sweet. Okay. So you know me, I'm the release date guy. So my first strategy is going to try to narrow down its release date.
Yes.
Did this game...
You're going to need you're either going to need Bailey or all 20 games.
20 questions.
What did I say?
Games.
Yep.
So I need to lean on Bailey for this one.
Ooh, am I like a phone a friend or am I a help? Okay.
You're going to ask the audience, yeah?
Okay.
All right. My first question, I think with that in mind, I'm going to try to figure out platform first. Was this game released for a home console or PC?
Exclusively a home console.
Okay. That was generous of you. You just had to say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. It's on the console. Did this game come out on or after January 1st, 2010?
After.
Okay. Did this game come out on or after January 1st, 2015?
No.
All right. Did this game come out on or after January 1st, 2012?
No.
Okay. So it's between 2010 and 2011. All right. Did this game come out in 2011?
Yes.
Okay. So I've used 5 questions so far. It's a 2011 console game. It's on a console. I should figure out which console or multiple consoles. Is this game exclusive to a single console?
Yes.
Oh, all right. It's an exclusive. So it's probably some sort of first-party game, but I need to know which. Is it a Sony, Nintendo, or Microsoft? Was this game published by Nintendo?
Its publisher is not Nintendo.
Its publisher is not Nintendo. Okay. Is this game exclusive to the Wii?
Yes.
All right. That's 8 questions so far. It's a 2011 Wii game. Is this your area of expertise, Bailey? Perhaps?
I might know a thing or two.
Okay. Does this game feature any characters from the Mario universe?
Not a one.
Oh, okay. That eliminates a lot. I should try to figure out genre. So 2011 is kind of late in the Wii cycle. Games were winding down. The Wii U was coming out pretty
They
soon.
wanted to end with a smash hit.
Okay. So I know 2011 is... The only Wii game I can think off the top of my head that came out in 2011 is Zelda Skyward Sword. But it's probably not that. We can try to narrow down genre a little bit. Does this game feature any kind of multiplayer, be it local or online?
Yes.
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 Okay, that's 10. I'm halfway. You said yes slowly, though. So unless you're playing mind games, I'm thinking it's a game not known for its multiplayer. A Wii game in 2011 with no Mario characters in it that does have multiplayer. What questions should I consider, Bailey?
I'm thinking maybe like genre type of game. I mean, granted, Heath chose this after I decided to join the chat.
Yeah.
So we can kind of eliminate shooty pew pew games.
Sure.
And
This goes without saying. It's a game Bailey has played and Chris has not.
I see. So that's why I need to lean on her. Is this a game I will recognize the title of?
No.
Oh, well then what am I doing here? I need Bailey 100%. All right, so Bailey, what games have you enjoyed on the Wii?
on the Wii, yes. I mean, not a whole lot. I'm not
Then this should be easy.
it should be. Shouldn't
should be
it?
from a select few. So you've played Wii Sports.
I've played Wii Sports.
Were you a Wii Fit person?
I mean, yeah.
When did that game come out? I don't know.
I think that's earlier.
Okay, it seems like it would be earlier.
Yeah.
Can you play multiple people with Wii Fit?
I don't know. You can throw multiple people on that balance board, right?
That's one of the mini games. Find how many people can you fit on the one balance board.
Is it like Wii Sports Resort or something?
Oh, yeah. That was a later Wii game. All right.
No, it's got to be more obscure than that from the way that Heath reacted.
Yeah, because I've heard of Wii Sports Resort. Is this a licensed game?
Just define that.
It's based on some property that a license holder lent out, like how Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is based on the Star Wars license.
Yes.
This is a licensed game. All right, that's 11 questions. So it has it's based on some property, maybe a movie, maybe a TV show. Have you
The
played?
first thing that comes to mind for me is like Just Dance ABBA.
Just Dance ABBA.
Yeah, because like they created like a Just Dance that had strictly ABBA songs.
Got it.
That's the first thing that I thought of.
All right, this could be helpful. Is this a rhythm game of any kind?
Yes.
Oh, we're circling the drain here.
Okay.
So, were there any other Just Dance games you were a big fan of at the time? Or is ABBA the one?
I don't know if Heath knows about the Just Dance ABBA.
Oh, that would throw a wrinkle into things.
So, because I think we owned it, but we like didn't play. I don't remember if we played it very often. It's not a DDR. It's not a Guitar Hero.
There were some Guitar Hero games on the Wii. Probably.
It wouldn't be a Guitar Hero.
Okay.
No.
This game is only on the Wii, which is important because Guitar Hero games would have been on the PlayStation and the
Yes.
Xbox. So what is a Wii-only rhythm game? Just Dance, I feel like, does come to other platforms. But is Just Dance ABBA this weird edge case?
Could be.
All right, what else could we ask?
He's giving us no hints right now with his face.
that's his job. He's
Yeah.
the moderator.
Yeah.
We know a lot about this game, except its title. Okay, here's one. We can just use this. Is this game a part of the Just Dance franchise?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a big one.
Okay.
That's 13 questions so far. So it's sounding a lot like Just Dance ABBA
It does.
because that's based on the ABBA license. I don't know if it's on anything else, but let's assume it's just a Wii game. All right, we can ask, Just Dance is made... No, we already know it's part of the Just Dance franchise. All right, how about this? Is this Just Dance game based on a certain artist?
Yes.
Is that artist's name... How do you spell ABBA?
ABBA.
Does it start with the letter A?
Yes.
Is this game Just Dance ABBA?
Give me.
Yeah.
After
Wow.
midnight. Is there a soul out there?
It's only for the Wii.
Yay!
I'm smart.
But you didn't... You thought Heath... Have you played this game?
I've seen it in her home.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen me play it,
No.
actually. But yeah, no, I think you've seen it.
I needed you there for that one, Bailey. I would have never gotten there.
Yay!
I love ABBA. Heath likes ABBA too. We listen to ABBA.
ABBA slaps.
ABBA slaps. Timeless. Evergreen.
Sounds like a winner. Yeah, don't throw your Wii away. That's the only thing that can play Just Dance ABBA. So, that was an exciting conclusion.
Well done, you two.
To an exciting podcast. Thanks for having us. We don't have any emails this week, but if you have emails you want to send us, how do you do that, Heath?
Where do you send it, Bailey?
To Mobius Tubes at the Gmail.
Mobius Tubes Podcast.
Ah,
at Gmail.
I was close.
Yeah, Mobius Tubes Podcast at gmail.com. We'll read all of them on the air, guaranteed. What are you guys going to do the rest of your day?
Fold laundry.
Yeah.
Is that a two-person job?
Yeah, I
Yes.
do one sleeve and she does the other.
Oh, tag team it.
No,
And then we lock eyes and fold the rest of it.
No, it's just because I'm lazy and he likes to fold a certain way and it's better than the way that I fold. Yeah, but then probably enjoy some Moscow mules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe we can start the lies game. What's the name?
Oh, telling lies.
Telling lies.
Oh, that would be fun. That's about it.
Very good.
What about you, Chris?
He's going to work out.
I am going to work out, have some breakfast. No, I already had breakfast. Cut that.
Mixed.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go eat dinner, have workout, and drive to Canandaigua.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Who's in Canandaigua?
Nobody important. But thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.